I got coming. Standing on the verge of revolution and I'm not running. Unfunky ones seem to keep rising. So I knock them busters off before they get the clowning. There's money to be made and I never have to trip. How many stages do a motherfucker have to rip? Busters think they real with the steel, but they got a nail. A kick through the head for disrespecting. Now tell me how you feel. Too many tricks. Dropping salt in the mix.
Welcome to another episode of RaiderFanRadio.Vegas. Number 6.
6 on your Richter scale. That's how we do it. What's up, nation?
You know what? We just recently had
Chaos 6.
Not the election. You called it last time the selection.
Selection.
Is selection season over? That's my question because I'm ready for it to be over.
Me too.
I want some kind of normalcy or abnormalcy or whatever kind of I can get. But selection season now is over. People made their votes. A lot of people aren't happy. Sorry, man. A lot of people are happy.
A lot of people are.
All right, good for you. But hopefully we can all be happy. We're happy here tonight on RaiderFanRadio.Vegas on YouTube. That's the main thing. Of course, you can like and subscribe right here on the, what do you call this?
That's something. Like underneath here.
This thing right here.
The comment area.
We want to know your comments. We got lots of comments last time. We'll read later on the show.
All those YouTubers out there, they were here before us, so they know where.
Yeah, you know more than I do.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. We want to thank all you viewers, too, that have been viewing and also liking and subscribing. We appreciate it. And the support is just letting us know that we're bringing you entertaining talk. And that's what we're about, man. So, yeah, right on. Thank you.
You know, back to the election, I do want to say there were some positive things in the selection season this year. Yeah, believe it or not. A lot of states, it seems to be more and more and more, are starting to vote yes on legalization of not only medical, but decriminalizing marijuana.
That did go down.
And it's about fucking time, I'll tell you that much, all right?
Right on.
But at least they're coming aboard, right?
Yeah.
We know in Vegas.
You see in Oregon, they decriminalized everything from meth to
they were the first.
Magic mushrooms
to sex with bears. I mean, they decriminalized.
They're doing everything in Oregon.
It's a good idea. One day the whole nation will do that. I would suspect it should happen.
Decriminalize sex with bears?
I mean that too. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's gonna hurt. But I think that's gonna hurt badly.
That's gonna hurt.
But I think, if you're going to legalize everything, you should. Because that would just take the pressure off.
Across the board, all the way?
Across the board. It takes the pressure off the court system. It makes it easier for people to get rehab versus to be put in prison. And it's that whole crime circle that happens when people are in and out of prison due to drugs. And we know that, what can you do? If they're legal, you can take as much as you want to take and then eventually kill yourself. That's going to help with the whole thing too, as far as the courts are concerned. Well, I just think it's better that way.
It's definitely great to see at least the very least means. Hey, here's the way I look at that. That's a good thing to put up because, I mean, first of all, someone had to really advocate for magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
Someone had people
advocated. Hippies. Before I die,
people advocated for marijuana.
Experience what I experienced.
I've been an advocate for marijuana my whole entire life. I come from a long line of stoners, a whole stoner family.
A long time, man. Yeah.
But I can't say, maybe they're out there. Prove me wrong, kids. I mean, is there a crystal meth advocate? Or
that's a tough one.
You know what I'm saying? In other words, heroin. I mean, if there's people out there and they really feel strongly about it, fight for your rights.
Well, I think Oregon is kind of siding on what Steph said. They looked at the studies of usage, of course. Yeah. They probably took a idea that better to decriminalize it than have certain parts of our state become these havens for narcotics sales and whatever. I mean, the University of Oregon has been, known for years to be, like Cal Berkeley, I mean, and also Oregon State too, and just Oregon's reputation all the way back. We all know about Bill Walton back in the day. He smoked herb when he played for the Portland Trailblazers.
Played basketball, did acid.
With the Grateful Dead and all that. So Portland, Portlandia, their whole latest reputation of, the last 20 years up there of just being this free-spirited, hippie, kind of ex-hippie commune, but also hipster haven and stuff.
Oh yeah, I've been to Oregon a bunch of times. I've hung out in Eugene.
Yeah.
It's just Hey,
Bud goes well with Bergenstein.
Oregon's a whole different world up there. Just like, Texas is a whole different world. It's a whole different country.
Yeah,
Oregon's
Texas
like a
is.
whole other
Motherfuckers is
country.
down.
I bet
Texas.
you Texas didn't legalize any weed.
Yeah.
I bet you Texas didn't have that on their ballot.
It's a trip. Those states need to smoke some motherfucking
They do.
weed.
They
Okay?
do.
Straight up.
They
They really
need to
do.
smoke some.
Speaking of which, I'm not, don't mind me
Now,
over here.
along that line, another state that, for all the depictions in movies of it being a wild place and all kind of shit you would think would be being sold out of New Jersey, they legalized marijuana themselves.
In Jersey?
Jersey. Yeah, across the river there, out there in Hackensack.
They've been at it a long time too. Like
I don't know what they've been at it, but I think Jersey, they just was like, fuck it, because we're never going to beat New York. We keep fucking ended up second along the eastern seaboard as a destination. I don't know if they've rebuilt Camden, but I'm sure Trenton is still dying its last breath. And, whatever they're doing in East Rutherford, down at Asbury Park, whatever. But the bottom line is, it's a place where they need to chill. Them some high testosterone, pastrami sandwich eating, pizza folding motherfuckers up there off of that Sopranos type shit and Jersey Shore shit. But the funny thing about it, like I said, it's a place that you would think that even illegally or under the table for all the big chested, boasting, second to New York type attitude they got, these motherfuckers had the most searches after the law passed out of Jersey. Google recorded for, what do you think it was for? New Jersey they had a record search on Google. Google recorded a record search for a particular thing right after a particular question right after the Jersey legislation.
I can't even imagine what
do you think it is.
4 billion?
What do you think a bunch of fucking New Jerseyans wanted to know there, huh?
They wanted to know,
when it comes to the fucking...
when am I going to be able to hang out on the shore?
When it comes to the...
Should I use a pipe?
When it comes to the reefer. These fucking clucks needed to know, how do you roll a joint there, Hey, Clarence, your people know how to do that, eh?
They don't know how to roll joints in New Jersey?
Vinny, how the fuck do
Wait
you
a
roll-
minute. If there's any listeners or
Radio
viewers
exclusive.
in New Jersey, Raider fans, or it doesn't matter, if you're just from Jersey, come on, man. Just show us a picture. I got to see one of these joints that you can't roll. I mean, everybody can roll a joint.
For all them gangster movies that you motherfuckers have produced and are represented in, and one of my favorite all-time movies when it just comes to, gritty crime drama movies, New Jersey Drive, which is just a great, gritty black street movie, man, from back in the 90s, man. And some others, man. Of course, Broadway Danny Rose, a lot of that is filmed in Jersey with Woody Allen classic from back in the day. But, I mean, The Sopranos, of course, most recently.
Right.
I mean, hands down, one of the greatest depictions of Jersey ever, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, and what is it, The Situation and the Jersey Shore?
I never saw those
you would
shows.
think all these people, for all that macho, Goomba shit and all that they would know how to fucking roll
All right,
marijuana.
if you're in New Jersey, here's what you do.
You motherfuckers know how to roll.
You're going to learn the
weed,
way
man.
I learned. You get somebody who's got a big giant pile of weed, and you get a bunch of papers, like packs of papers, as many as you can get.
Hello, Bruno.
And you just sit there and practice makes perfect every time.
Yeah.
You're doing a pretty good job over there, Rob.
I remember my
Doing a
friend
good job
going,
smoking and not passing.
I remember my friend taking away my roller because I had one of those rollers.
A roller? You
I
need
had
a
a
roller?
roller for so long, and then finally they were like, Steph, that's not cool, dude. You need to know how to roll this on your own. So they took my roller, gave me the papers, gave me the herb, and said, figure it out.
Wow, there you go.
And no matter how
That's how I
bad
learned
it
to-
is,
Experience is the
that-
best teacher.
Exactly. No matter how bad it is, your first one, if you could still
And back in
smoke
the
it,
day, which was
it
happening
works.
in the early 80s when I was coming up in the game on the streets of Oakland, y'all will remember that from the town and maybe in some other regions. I don't know how prevalent it was, but we sold joints. And especially on the bus. When
Raider Fan Radio exclusive.
We would ride the bus, and mugs would be on the bus selling joints and shit. It'd be $1 a joint, or some fat, Alabama. Or
$1 a joint. That must have been
or
some
other
crappy
Cess or
weed.
something like that. No, this just was part of the industriousness
Part of Oakland
of
bus
the
rides.
town. That was just
Get it for cheap on the streets.
one of the first hustles. You know what I'm
Right
saying?
on. Yeah.
So you roll it up because that was back when weed was coming out from Humboldt County. Just before the state went in there and started burning it all up. There was a big drought in Humboldt County for a lot of years, from 81 until the early 90s. They went up there in the feds, went there and swept shit out. So we had gotten that last, and that was that good gold weed and that good cess. You know what I'm saying? But that was one of my first jobs in the hustle game, was rolling marijuana from my
seems how it just kind of, it's an ongoing theme. You know, it's an ongoing. And I'll kind of tie this back to Raider fans since we're talking about weed. We know there's a lot of Raider fan stoners out there. Mm-hmm. So at least we know little by little that criminal element that they keep talking about with the Raider fans, we're a little bit less criminal now.
Yeah.
So, congratulations, and to all you states out there partaking in legalities, I salute you. We salute you.
Yes.
We salute you. Welcome aboard. It's been, since the middle of the 2000s for California. And so it should have been the first place that legalized it.
You can go to Raider games now here at the new stadium, the Death Star, the $2 billion stadium right down the road, and go to a dispensary right across the street. Mm-hmm. Legal weed at a brand new rate. To me, this is heaven. I'm in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
I'll see y'all when you get here.
It's the dream come true. I mean, but we grew up in a time where it was kind of a rite of passage. And kind of just something that, at least for me, I've always blown openly. I've never been
that's
restricted,
yeah.
Never tripped on the law. We always dreamt that it would be cool one day that, you could go down to the store and buy weed like you buy cigarettes and like you buy beer and shit like that.
But it was a fantasy.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a fantasy.
So
now it's reality.
Here, in California, where we grew up, like as y'all say, for the people back east and all that, those weird California are out there just living free. We all get high fun and the kind of wild California.
Surfing.
And that was true. So all the big debate over marijuana all these years just never really affected us because we were always smoking. We didn't look at it as illegal.
Right.
We looked at it as getting high.
I loved going to the Oakland Coliseum, and at halftime, we always knew where to meet up, know where to hang out.
Those were the days.
Now, before they didn't let you, because the smoking laws changed, but there was a time where we used to be way up in the bleachers, especially when there was nobody there in some certain games.
Yeah.
We'd go up to the bleachers, hang out for a while where no security was hanging out, no cop. Eventually, if it was their job, they had to kind of come up there and go, hey, you guys, we're going to get out.
Yeah, it was like obvious. It's like, why are all these Raider fans?
We go way to the top. I don't know if it'll be like that here at the new stadium, but
that would be cool though, with that window that opens up and you're looking at the
that'd be very cool.
And you CBS comes in, overshot and shit and mugs.
Well, if it ever happens, it'll be because we try to make it happen.
That's real talk. Speaking of elections, too, along the line we're back with Stone was at, just want to throw this out here, representing the town, tonight. There's an operative, another one of my call-outs. Yeah, there's an operative.
Radio exclusive.
That had a lot to do with this last political cycle, and, he's better known in some circles as Van Jones. I prefer to him as Van Coon. And, we don't want that to happen to us.
Damn.
Okay, and, we have a phrase in the hood, because Stone...
By the way, I was going to say we... Well, what do we have?
Just so you know, Stone, me and Steph have to take care of some Negro business right now. Okay, so
understand. Can I watch?
You're free to participate, but your words are your own. You get canceled on your own. Okay? I won't go down with you, white man. Kimo Sabi.
I'll put about this much space in between.
Anyway, we just fucking with Stone. Stone's his real estate company. He's very, very well evolved socially and racially. But Van Jones, man, you know what Uncle Tom is, right?
Uncle Tom.
Yeah, you know what
Uncle Tom. That's that old dude on that movie.
Not on the right. Not the dude on the right.
That's Uncle
Zippity Doodah, right? That's the guy.
Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, we need to change that since they done fired Aunt Jemima, they done fired Uncle Ben, everybody sits here down to, that type of depiction.
Saturday Night Live
just literally just did that on Saturday Night Live.
I'm saying we also need to retire Uncle Tom as a euphemism and a word that we, particularly in the black community, use to talk about a brother that sells out. You know what we're talking about. Well, it should be Uncle Van. That's what it should be.
It should now be Uncle
Okay.
Do I know this person?
Well, you will.
I think so.
Okay, he's a sellout ass motherfucker. And the only reason I'm calling out because he runs around and has ran around for a minute representing the town. Okay, but he got
There's
the
another
nerve.
one.
I turned on my TV the other day when I came in, and he's on there crying after the nerve to cry after the election with Joe Biden being named the new president-elect. And just a few months ago, you was in the White House, consulting with them. You know what I'm saying? You was up there kicking it with Kushner and all them characters. You know what I'm saying? These, New York Confederate Yankees. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, what was it? The first year after the president's first, what do they call, State of the Union?
Right.
You were like, oh, he's a president tonight. He acted like a president. Now, you masquerade as an advocate for the hood. You masquerade as an advocate for, black intellectual mobility and black, progress in this country and what have you. And that's, a dutiful and beautiful thing to be down with, man. But you want some sucker shit, though, jumping the fence like you be doing, bro. You know what I'm saying? On some real talk, bro. And you say you represent the town. Okay, and I'm just put it like this. I'm no Democrat. I'm no Republican. You can do whatever you want. I like Dukes of Hazzard too. You can fly your flag.
I love Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay,
I love the Daisy Dukes.
About your damn statues. I'm just on a different vibe when it comes to politics. I'm from Oakland. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I pledge allegiance to, is funk. All right.
Okay.
And the only party that I'm down with is the P-Funk party. Okay, that's what I'm down with.
Which doesn't stop, right?
A P-Funk party don't stop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how it goes.
That
for
makes
me.
sense.
But so do what y'all want to do politically. I don't even trip on that shit, man. But this cat just had to be called out because from the town and you representing the town.
But that's the thing. He's not from the town.
Well, wherever you from Lakeshore, all right, to left field at the Coliseum, man. Okay, we don't fuck with Yankees.
Okay.
And we damn sure don't fuck with Confederates. Mm-hmm. And even as much as I get on them and, ain't got much love for Frisco and all that shit, blah, 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 they don't get down like that. Okay, so, even Frisco don't get down with no Confederate Yankees. All right,
True.
so,
That's true.
You want to ride that way, and flip-flop and all that shit, cool. But man, I know you're gonna really try to piggyback now because Kamala, is in and she from the town. Homie, you need to keep Oakland out your mouth.
He's not from the town. He's really originally from Jackson, Tennessee.
Where?
And that Jackson, Tennessee. And that's the thing. He went to the University of Tennessee at Martin. He went to Yale for law school, which he's probably a skull and bone boy as a result of that. But he didn't really come to Oakland.
Did you just look at me and point in my direction when you said skull and bones?
Because I knew you would know.
I don't know nothing about no skull and
bones. You don't know
bones.
nothing about skull and bones?
No, man. I used to ride skateboards. They made cool stickers on the bottom I used to ride with. That's about it. And they make good Raider t-shirts.
Yeah, true. Skull and bones.
Okay, there you go.
Well, this is a secret. It's not so secret society anymore.
Yeah, they ain't no secret now.
But he's like one of those classic poverty pimps that, they like to use Oakland when it's convenient for them. Like, oh, this will make me look like a radical because I'm going to say I'm from Oakland or, because of the Black Panther.
Yeah, but he run around in
civil rights activist.
He running around in them old Bishop Melville suits though. Oh, slick ass slippery suits he be wearing. like
is this guy you're talking
like,
about?
like he's a fucking
Google it.
lost member of the Delphonics or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And with
He's
them,
in politics.
Schoolboy glasses on, trying to act like he a real one. You ain't a real one, homie. Even for the intellectual set that you try to represent of Black America.
He's a poverty pimp.
And the political agenda that you be trying to claim you represent, homeboy. My thing is just keep the town out your mouth. Go ahead, Steph. Sorry.
No, I think it was said best on New York
fucking town out
New
your
York
mouth,
Daily
man.
News by Don Kaplan. He wrote an article back in 2017. Why everyone hates CNN's Van Jones now, and basically the article sums it up as he's just overexposed, and that's a nice way of saying we're tired of hearing you, and you've been talking so much that you've eventually said something stupid. And now we've been able to capitalize on it.
Something sideways and all that. Like I said, man, love who you want to love. You motherfuckers had your run, with homie and all that. But homeboy to be involved in that shit and be flip-flopping, you know, going in there
Playing both
consulting
sides.
and playing with these old funny style New York motherfuckers that he saw they was on some shit that he allegedly advocates that he's against when he's around polite company, which would be his people. And he think he can snow them because he tries to, of course, deal with these up-and-coming young black prospective intellectuals and try to snow them. You know, and then when he signed up to the hood, it's all about, you know, well, hold on, you know, I'm out there trying to represent y'all. I haven't forgot y'all. You know, like you say, he's a poverty pimp.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, that's
There's
what's up
plenty
with
of
him.
those in Oakland,
You know,
unfortunately.
Uncle Van, that should be the new. I'm advocating. I'm telling the hood right now. The homies out there in the hood, all the way up to the Cornell West set. You know what I'm saying? The new vernacular for sell-out Negroes. Okay,
Be
is
Uncle
Uncle
Van.
Vans. Okay, these motherfuckers is Uncle Vans. Fuck Uncle Tom. Let's retire that shit. It's Uncle Van's cab. No, it's Uncle Van's Uber instead of Uncle Tom's cabin.
All right, on that note,
Back to the white man.
back to the white dude in the room.
You're not even white.
I'm glowing. What are you talking about? I'm making that. What's the word you used?
A translucent.
Translucent.
Yeah.
I'm translucent. Well, tonight I would like to translucently dedicate, and of course we spell the word dedicate, D-E-A-D, icates, the show to a national treasure. When I say national treasure, he wasn't a teacher, but he sure gave us a lot of information. And that is one,
Sure.
Alex Trebek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dedicated
Of the
to
show,
Alex.
Jeopardy. You know, I have to talk about Jeopardy a little bit. I sucked at Jeopardy. I tried it. I tried it a few times. I sucked at Jeopardy. Yeah.
Well,
That's the new song. But I did watch it a lot with, like, obviously a lot of families across the nation.
Loved it, man.
Watched it all
Loved
the
that show.
time. You sat there and you learned about a lot of things you would never know anything about. And for some reason, the people that were on the show knew everything about everything. That was cool to see. But Alex Trebek held it down for all those
Oh,
years,
yeah.
of course.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and he made it to 80. He suffered from cancer for a few years.
Pancreatic cancer, yeah.
Man, that
And he went
obviously-
public with it, too.
We got two cancer dedications in the same month.
He went public with it, too, to draw attention, which a lot of celebrities and people with public figurism and platforms do sometimes at the end of their life when they know they're diagnosed with a terminal illness. And that's always commendable and a very noble thing to do, to try to draw attention to the awareness of needing a cure and needing to continue to be advocating for, you know, people to have great health and to get health screenings and health checkups and all that. And so he did that towards the end of his life, the last couple years, being public about it and, you know, chronicling his chemotherapy and what have you. And it was a very admirable thing to do. And he's a very, talking about Sean Connery last week, another man of class, you know, a real stylish guy. And we grew up in the era of game shows, Wink Martindale.
Oh, yeah, man. Game shows,
Wink Martindale.
Match Game PM,
Yeah,
Hollywood
Bob,
Squares, of
Bob,
course.
Barker, Gene, Gene was not Gene Klein, that was the owner of the Chargers, but Gene Rayburn.
Yeah.
You know, so he was in that vein too. You know, him and Pat Sajak.
But he
with a new,
he was different
the
than
new
a lot of those
generation.
guys, because a lot of those guys were just kind of funny guys, and
Yeah.
Alex Trebek was more the just cool.
but he had a sarcastic wit.
Definitely,
You know,
yeah.
he had a way of like clowning.
Yeah,
you.
yeah, he
Like,
could stick in the
something
little
obvious.
one-liners once in
You
a
ever
while.
want to check something out, man? Go on YouTube and watch Greatest Jeopardy bloopers. And you'll see a lot of just like the kind of repartee he would have when people would obviously fuck up, you know, like what's the capital of California? And the guy is from like Los Angeles,
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and he says something stupid like Culver City or something like that, you know, and he'd
But
be
that's-
like, "You're from California? Well, they may not want you back."
Just something being pancreatic cancer is basically diabetes gone haywire. And that's really what it is. So people start out with diabetes, they live with it a long time. Remember, we lost Gene Upshaw to pancreatic cancer. And so we've got to look at that, because diabetes is something that's curable. Nobody has to die from diabetes.
That's real.
But people are so addicted to sugar and things that are, you know, these fast food diets, that this is what it leads to eventually.
Oh, I used to love those Western bacon cheeseburgers at Carl's Jr.
Just the
He's
thought
talking
of
about
it.
fast food diets.
Is that the one with the onion rings on it?
Yeah. It's got the onion rings on
Or
it, the
just,
barbecue sauce.
McDonald's or whatever. It's like, but even outside of that, this is just, again, you cannot be eating that and still have a diet that would lead you to diabetes,
right.
which if you never dealt with it will end up being pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
So it's time we learn from these things, yes, and we have a choice to become healthier and we have a choice to fight this. Clearly, the pharmaceutical companies are not helping with the cure. And it's been over 100 years now, America. And I know that there's a cure out there.
Dang.
Other than just cut, slash, and burn, which is very painful. And that kills a lot of people, the treatment. If you can make it through the treatment for cancer, then likely you can go on. But it is a tough battle. If you're thinking about killing every good cell in your body that fights off infection, to have your body then rebuild itself and figure out a way to then fight that cancer. That's what chemotherapy is. So 80 years old, he survived through that
Dr.
process.
Blackhole Steph.
Hey.
I'm learning everything on Raider Fan Radio today. And we haven't even talked about the Raiders yet, but it's coming up. Okay, well, I would like to transfer this whole discussion on Alex Trebek and Jeopardy and ask you a question in a Jeopardy form, Raider related.
Oh, okay.
All right, so here's your playing cards.
Okay. All right. And so you're going to take us through
We're listening to the music in the background for two seconds. With regards to the $500,000 fines to the Raiders and the $150,000 fine on Coach John Gruden for violation of face mask and COVID-19 protocols, which NFL team owner said?
What other protocols were there?
That's not important.
That's not the question. Here's the question. You think Alex Trebek would fucking deal with this shit?
I
Can you imagine? Ding! What are the protocols?
The question
Which
is,
NFL team owner said the fines are draconian, but we will appeal them? Now is the music going on?
yeah, it's happening.
All right.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
You're supposed to say ding. You gotta let the host know. There it is. Ding. Why? I didn't know you had a ding. She's got a ding.
Again.
Got a dog, too.
Okay, Raider Rob, first we'll look at your answer.
Who is Jerry Jones?
No, you're wrong. Black hole Steph?
Who is Mark Davis?
You're right.
Really? What the fuck am I clapping before I lost?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mark Davis responded to the reporters the other day in regards to these fines, and I think it's important to bring up because
with a little spip to
it makes me think about this. Well, first of all, Mark Davis, he's been a Raider his whole entire life. Here we were talking about Oakland and the history and just the town.
He's been associated.
Yeah, his dad is really.
Well, his dad's the owner of the team, and now he's the owner of the team.
Yes, he is.
So bottom line is, I had to first of all look up the word draconian because I didn't even know what draconian meant.
Wow.
It's a new word for me.
So schools are bad in your neighborhood too.
So I looked it up, and draconian means.
Oh no! What is?
What does it?
Professor Stoner dude with
People
us.
are gonna have to read that.
Draconian. Adjective.
It's a cousin.
an
Of
adjective?
laws or their
Something
application.
Dracula would do.
Excessively harsh and severe. That's draconian.
Yeah.
Again, you're learning things on Raider Fan Radio. A lot of you kids, I know you didn't know what draconian was.
A close cousin
Raider
to
Fan Radio.
barbaric. Close cousin to barbaric.
Some Greek dude named Draco,
He's giving a background on this.
back in the 7th century ancient Greece, was a democratic legislator of law, characterizing them by their harshness and imposed severe punishment.
Yes.
So I guess basically in a smaller, dumber, not so astute, but more a stupid way of putting it, he's calling it bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit that they gave us the fines. And I say it's bullshit.
And he's saying that the rule is ancient. the whole premise for fining everybody is ancient. It's
The way that they're
draconian. It's
punishing.
draconian.
It's
It's back that
harsh
far.
and excessive.
Right.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw these other teams. Tennessee Titans
We've been
had
doing
it.
this bullshit since I was a kid.
Tennessee Titans had it. The Vikings had it at the beginning of the season. But all of a sudden, when it's related to the Raiders, it's a $500,000 fine for the team and $150,000.
Well, they know we got the
and
money
you
now.
know John Gruden.
They know we got the money.
You
now.
know John Gruden hates that.
They know we
face
got.
mask.
You know they got. They
And
know,
I hate that he has to wear that.
They know
face
we
mask.
got the money now.
Well, they got the money too.
They wouldn't have fined us $500,000 in Oakland. They know we ain't got $500,000. But we got a bank.
So we're Vegas,
We got a
now they're
bank
gonna charge us
down the
more
street
money.
here, Yes.
We
They're
wouldn't
gonna
even
fuck
be
with us
playing
even harder.
if we were in
course.
California, like we
Well, I don't know
discussed
about
last
that.
time. This is about the state of Nevada, also the governor and the NFL. They're working in concert. They have to be, because that's what the governor basically said. They've been really harsh on gatherings, and the Raiders have been getting together. They don't wear, they're not following protocol, the CDC protocol. And so they're coming down on them, which is typical of, what happens to the Raiders, but also just what's going on with this pandemic. It's another way to make money off of an NFL team. And the NFL is right there with it, collecting those fines against the
Of course,
players.
they're going to
against the
fine us
organization.
more because we're in Las Vegas where there's money. Okay,
Yeah,
cash
yeah.
on hand, baby, 24 hours a day. So, that's what's up with that. And, I'm with Mark on that. It is a little, ridiculous
harsh.
and a
It
little
really is.
harsh and overextended.
Well, it's like everything in the world right now.
But it's
like
to be
that.
expected. This is
Yeah,
why you don't
you're
consort
right.
with the
You're
NFL.
right.
This is what your father knew. And what I learned from your father, that great man back there in that white suit. Don't fuck with the NFL.
That's real.
And that's why it was us against them.
That's
You
right.
youngsters, you new Raider fans need to understand that. Y'all with this kumbaya friendly bullshit, fuck everybody else.
They're not
it's
about
us
us.
and the other 31. But y'all do y'all thing, man.
It is draconian, and it is a way for
Fuck the NFL.
to keep people divided. They wanted to go ahead and have the games this
All right,
season.
Coretta Scott King.
And so now that they have the games and everything and people are playing, that's just going to be part of it.
Yes,
People are
ma'am.
going to be getting COVID, getting over it really quickly.
God.
And people are going to be,
Maybe not.
quarantined.
Pfizer's got a vaccine. They say it's 90%
Any day now,
effective.
you're going to get your shot.
I'm not taking no
Pfizer.
shot.
Yeah. Dr. Steph's not taking
Pfizer's
a shot.
in the house.
God made my
House.
immune
Pfizer's
system
in
just
the
fine.
Well, I think the lockdowns are draconian. I think the whole dang motherfucking situation is
England's on
draconian.
lockdown till December 2nd.
The whole world is draconian. The NFL is draconian. And I guess ultimately, it was nice to hear my owner of my team say, yeah, the NFL is draconian. Now I know what draconian means. Thanks, Mark Davis.
I heard that. Well, anyway, speaking of Mark Davis's team, let's get to some football. Thank you for you folks sticking and staying. Remember, like and subscribe to Raider Fan Radio YouTube here on our channel, and also hit us at True Raider Nation at Yahoo, and also email your comments, like Stone said last week, at RaiderFanRadio@gmail.com. Raiders, a big, gritty win, needed win, a real inspiring win, going to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood to play the San Diego Chargers, or the team formerly known as the San Diego
The
Chargers.
San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles. That's the official name.
Yes.
It'll look great on a t-shirt, trust me.
Y'all remember when Prince wrote "Slave" when he was the artist formerly known as Prince? He wrote "Slave." The Chargers should write on the side of their faces, "We want to move."
Back. But real quick on the
Diego.
Chargers, the first thing I noticed that already made me go, what are these guys doing? Now they got the blue lightning bolt stripe with the yellow outline. It's like, first of all, that looks stupid. Lightning bolt's not blue. It's not on your field. It's a white or a yellow lightning bolt, mostly a white with a yellow trim. When I saw the blue, it just was reminiscent of all these NFL teams right now that are like doing these half-tone uniforms. They're changing it every other week.
Well, the Chargers are in the fashion business. They're not in the football business. Okay, they've been in the fashion business since the mid-'60s. Okay, like I said last week, they win Cutest Team of the Year award every year. Okay, they're into dressing up, okay, and trying to outdress you. That's what they look. They know they look good on TV in those uniforms, and that's what they live for. And they keep revamping.
I'm saying they don't look good in those uniforms.
They don't look good as a football team. They choked yet again. Okay, you're the San Diego Chokers, and you will always be the San Diego Chokers. That's what you ought to make your next song. You try to find a song.
San Diego Chokers of Los Angeles,
choking by the beach. I was choking
in LA. Choking in LA. Missing persons.
San Diego.
Choking in LA.
Oh my gosh. Well, Can Fan was back again.
This is where all the ideas happen, right here.
Can Fan was back, and but we went in there. We played a gritty game. The Raiders got out of there alive. For all the analysis of the gameplay and all that we're going to do here, the bottom line it came down, for me at least, was, one, the Chargers choked as usual at the end when they had a chance to win, and the refs didn't give us, the refs didn't screw us like they could have. Okay, and my thing with the Raiders is you've got to stop fucking being in those situations, man. I am sick of this my whole goddamn life. Of y'all always being in these situations where the referees have a chance to take a game from us or impede us from winning.
That was close.
And here we again are in a situation that didn't even have to be there because we were trouncing the crap out of the Chargers. And, of course, I got to give my hat off to the cat I've been screaming about and telling everybody to keep an eye on, Justin Herbert. I told you he was a killer. I told you he's got that unassuming running, and he broke out.
That was the first play of the game.
Yes. I should be scout somewhere. Yes. Hey, Toronto Argonauts, you guys need a scout? Move to Canada.
He needs a gig.
But straight up, man.
Justin Herbert,
we can't be in those situations.
I haven't had the opportunity
to
watch him play a lot, full games, the way I was able to the other day with the Raiders. But yeah, based on everything you've been saying and what we actually saw, I mean, as far as the AFC West with Patrick Mahomes, it's the wild, wild west of the AFC now. It's going to become a gunslinging, old school, throw the football bombs away all day long. Yeah. Justin Herbert, even though, the Raiders won, but Justin Herbert had twice as many yards throwing as Derek Carr.
Yep.
2 touchdowns.
Right.
He took a beating. I mean, Cleveland Farrell at the beginning of the game, all the way to the end of the game, was getting his hands all over.
Sax Crosby.
Right.
Take me back to John Matuzak, why don't you? That hit that he put on him where the kid couldn't get up, and I thought you
at the end
that he could do a Clearasil commercial.
He
also needed some aspirin cream after that. I mean, he was fucking rocked, But back to the offense, the O-line again for me this week were very key, and I love seeing Chucky. He's channeling what I'm saying and what we're saying here. Pull the guards, pull the tackles. It was beautiful to see that, get on the outside and get those running backs into space. Devontae Booker turning out to be a great complimentary change of direction back, punishing back. Like you said last week, we talked about he was solid.
He's not the big back, but he gets hard yards.
He's got speed, too, on that corner.
When you were talking about that was the first touchdown of the game to Devontae Booker coming around on the right side. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was sitting with Mutt watching TV going, he's going to follow those 2 big giant white jerseys right there. And there was all that room on the right side. Mm-hmm. Took it right in. It just goes to show me that ultimately this is classic what we had with Gruden back in 98 to 2000.
Mm-hmm. He's tapping back into that,
We had Tyrone Wheatley, Zach Crockett, Terry Kirby. He always kept a rotation of strong.
Terry Kirby.
Remember Terry Kirby? Yeah, he always kept a rotation of solid, strong backs. They weren't all necessarily, although in Josh Jacobs, he got a gem, okay? He got a gem. That's a lead back that has the moves and has the cuts and has all this extra special superpowers. One of the ones he ran in, he looked like Superman. He had the ball out extended, and he goes over the pylon over 2 defenders. But back to Devontae Booker in the situation. Now this is making it now. We can mix it up all day. Gruden mixes it up the way he used to all those years. And, of course, he had the opportunity to do that again in Tampa, unfortunately, but he did it in Tampa.
Hunter Renfrow again showing his possession skills. Right. And you got to figure out a way now just to get Ruggs going. Now, I know everybody's waiting to hear what we have to say, or particularly me, about Derek Carr. But, what did you say about Carr's performance, Steph? I'll let you,
Well, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing that it has been. And it's a lack of confidence in clutch moments. He did do his timeout run thing again. I know people are like, wow, he was able to master it this time. And, oh, he looks great. And it's just, he's getting you through games. But that could have been a more poignant win, had Carr been able to settle down and connect on those long drives. We ended up having to run the ball so much because Gruden just didn't have the confidence that Carr was going to be able to pull those plays
Now, he
out.
did it, though, at the second half, the beginning of the second half.
He did change
They
it up.
opened up with their two first drives.
Right.
Both led to touchdowns. But the big deal about that is they were throwing the ball, especially the first drive, when he threw the long bomb to Nelson Aguilar.
Right.
And he hit onto Hunter Renfrow.
And that was an amazing catch by Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he lit,
and a great pass by Carr.
the way I think they got a chemistry going. I guess is what I'm getting to.
Right.
I'd like to see more of it.
He had a little bit of that with Michael Crabtree for a very short while. He tried to get it with Amari Cooper and kind of did, but then he kind of lost it. And he still hasn't done it with Ruggs yet, obviously. Ruggs is still the new kid learning a lot of things, even though he's the fastest guy on the field. But Nelson Aguilar, considering it's his first year with us, he's connecting. They're working together. They're gelling. They can read each other.
Well, he played a gritty game. I'll give him that. He played inspired. He played within himself. That fumble at the beginning, though, again, with the whole Tony Romo shit, you fumble the ball and then you're pointing down the field like somebody missed a route.
Carter's your Tony Romo.
You didn't even have a ball.
He's clearly.
You didn't even have the ball to throw the damn ball down. So I don't know what that was about, trying to make that excuse. You falling back on that thing where you're quick to try to blame, and what have you. Gruden did get in your ass. We all saw it, even with the mask on. He went over there and put you in check.
Pissed.
He was frustrated at a couple of things you did. But you played a great game. I'm still where I'm at with it. Again, I'm not rooting for this kid to lose or anything. It's just not my type of quarterback. But he did play a gritty game. Again, Cable had the O-line prepared. Hudson, Young, Good, Parker. They played great. They got Gabe Jackson. They got out on their ass. Like I said, great to see them pulling. And, like I said, a solid performance by the run. Our run tandem of Jacobs, like Stone said. So it was a gritty win, and again, you don't want to be in those situations at the end where we're having to rely on the referees to make a decision on are we going to win or not. We just don't want to be in those situations.
Well, you're talking about the end there. That for me, man. I mean, I'm sure we all felt the same way.
And the Chargers choked.
We're all watching the game, and it's the end of the game, and it came down to the final 32 seconds. Those 32 seconds, that was like a white knuckler, heart stopping. A moment. It was like oh my god. And I love AFC. Again. I love AFC Classic. It's always a classic matchup though. Whenever it's the Chargers Raiders, Raiders Chiefs, Broncos Chargers.
But we barely pulled it out, and we're barely able to win, and we can't do that. We have to start winning definitively.
But
we have two more.
Yes.
We're coming up again with the Broncos, and we're going to come back in with the Chiefs. Man, you've got to get in the groove right now.
When that moment came where it was down to the final 32 seconds. It was like I was thinking, okay, they're either the defense has to step up. Obviously, that's what it's got to come down to. Can the defense do it? And of course, frankly, there's a lot of time we haven't had faith in the defense, but it was their moment. And then, or the Chargers going to be a buzzkill for us and get the big win and go Chargers? Yeah, everyone, LA Chargers. Or is it going to be a fucking call from the refs to fuck us over?
Right.
And it'd be a typical another major historical moment where we got screwed in front of everybody. And luckily, and Chucky, man, John Gruden, you can see right, like you said, under his mask, and he's wearing black. But what you see is like red.
Murderous rage.
It's red, man.
Murderous rage.
That just pure red.
Yes.
You can see the steam fuming off of his head.
Yes.
And I love that. And in the sense that you're right. I don't want to have to see him in that position. But he's there to play football. He's there to win a game. And he knows what the refs are capable of, like you're saying. But justice prevailed, like you said. And I could tell from TV, from the angle we saw on TV, The ball looked like it hit the ground.
The ball was punched out in 77 in fucking Denver with Rob Lytle, okay? And everybody saw it on TV. You didn't have multiple cameras like you had back then, and we all saw it, you know? So
I think we need to take a call right now.
Oh, we got a call? Say something.
Well, I was trying to, but it's tough to get in, and we have the world famous Crunch on the
line. Raider Crunch in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Raider Nation citizen for many years, a legend from the Oakland Bay Area, grew up a Raider fan, and has been one of the most recognizable and notable Raider fans for the last 20 years, and represented real hard. He's also an author of a very successful book on the real early days of pro football's origins in Oakland, and particularly the Oakland Raiders, called Pride and Poise, the Oakland Raiders of the AFL. Welcome, everybody. Raider Crunch, baby. Woo! Crunch, what's up, man?
Oh, I'm just sitting here in Manteca in my house looking at a jigsaw puzzle I need to complete, and I knew Rob was going to say something, man, so I figured you called in to, to play counterpoint probably, but maybe we won this week, so I'm stoked about that.
Well, yeah, it's counterpoint. I mean, let's counterpoint something that we both kind of agreed on, though, last week when you commented on what I was saying about Derek Carr. How did you feel about his performance?
What was that at the end of the first half?
Mm-hmm.
Number one. You know what? That was stupid as that was, and yeah, it sent us into the locker room at halftime down a field goal. He needs help from that defense. And yeah, the defense, they played heroes at the end of the game. But the Chargers have won 2 games this year. They're not very good. I'm tired of hearing about whoever that kid is. I'm already tired of hearing about him.
Well, you're going to hear a lot about him.
You're going to hear a lot about him for the next 10 years. What are you talking about? He's a good quarterback.
He's tired, though.
Tired? The kid's a rookie. He's only played.
No, Crunch is tired.
Yes.
Crunch is tired.
Crunch is tired. Yeah, he can be a rookie all he wants. I don't see him being a Phillip Rivers type of quarterback. I just don't. He's the guy. He's Mr. Right now, not Mr. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you don't want Phillip Rivers type quarterback because Phillip Rivers is a fucking choke artist.
Yeah, but he was semi-consistent for 16 years.
Someone consistent. Crunch, I know you a long time, and I don't remember you walking around with Jeff Hostetler jerseys for years and years on end. Phillip Rivers was a fucking bum. The only thing that kept that team alive, particularly when they played us, was LaDainian Tomlinson. Now, where I give Phillip Baby Dabby Rivers props at is that he's good in the bedroom. This kid churns out kids, okay, like a fucking Amazon delivery truck. All right, but quarterback. And the last thing in San Diego that they want is another Phillip Rivers. They're looking for the next Dan Fouts.
Well, I don't see that kid being
counterpoint that.
What's that?
Exactly.
I can't understand what the hell you just said. But that's fine.
No, I was saying counterpoint that. I believe that they're looking for the next Dan Fouts, just like Miami's been looking for the next Dan Marino for 20-something years, and I think they may have found him in Justin Herbert. I don't see what your problem is with him, other than you got to play him twice a year, and you're scared he'll beat our ass eventually.
Yeah, well, eventually, when maybe when he gets a better team around him, I don't see it happening anytime soon. I think they're going to wash him out. I don't think he's going to be. I think he's probably going to be like maybe the best journeyman type of quarterback. I don't see him being the answer in L.A.
Touche.
For the Chargers. I just don't see that happening.
Touche.
I just don't see it happening.
Touche.
Yeah, and Crunch has really been wrong also. He calls it also. Crunch, what do you think is going to happen this week going up against the Denver Broncos?
Oh, God, I hate them too.
Me too. Gosh.
Raider fans have that in common, it seems.
I hate the Chiefs more, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Chiefs, of course, they're our biggest rival. But the Broncos, man, they're a bad team too. And as long as if the Raiders play down to their competition, again, it's going to be a tough game. They should blow this team out. They should blow the Broncos out. It depends on what team shows up on Sunday.
Right.
The way that are they going to come out firing, or are they going to let a team hang? A substandard team like they've done for decades. Hang around when they shouldn't.
Right.
Raiders have a long history of playing down to their competition when they're not very good.
That's right.
Crunch, like we said at the top there, you're also an author under the name Jim McCullough, your real name.
Yep.
and it's pride and poise, the Oakland Raiders of the American Football League. I want to ask you not to drum up any of the personal. I don't know really which side you were on, when the whole debate was going down again before the Raiders left, of the Raiders staying in Oakland and a new stadium and yada, 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 the politics of that. But in your chronicling of this team from its origins in Oakland, and then, of course, we all know about the move to Los Angeles and now in Las Vegas. In their history, where does this rank in the whole just lifespan of the Raiders and this penchant that we grew up most of our lives knowing of them flip-flopping, moving, and what have you? Where does this rank in the whole history? What do you think of this move to Las Vegas?
I hate it, but I have to accept it. They weren't going to get a stadium built that they wanted in Oakland. It just wasn't going to happen. As much as I wanted it to happen, it was too many promises made and not kept. We're going to renovate this, we're going to do this, and by the time they finally got the deal to go to Vegas, we're going to step up and do something. Well, now it's too late. They kicked the can down the road until the Raiders went down the road. Right. They needed the city and the county to step up, and come on, the renovation they did to get the Raiders back in '95 was a disaster. They turned the Coliseum into an eyesore. Right. And it, and being on the bay, it's next to the bay, it doesn't help with with it structurally. I understand the locker room still leaked after 50, 60 years, or 50 years, 55 years now. Right. So there was tons of problems there, and Amy Trask had a thing about maybe wanting to move them out to the Pittsburgh area, up at Port Chicago Highway, somewhere out there. At least keep the team semi-local. Right. But it didn't happen. We'll just do this.
Well, there was Dublin. There was talk of Dublin too. I mean, where the Raiders failed on that, and the city failed is again. The city always fails on taking an advantage to try to enhance their position when they're dealing with the professional franchise in Oakland, but also enhance the civic identity and the civic worth of having these teams and piggybacking on that. And they've always been late on bringing the facility into fruition that would help complement that. And I think after the second year, when it was all that euphoria, around 97, 98, just before when Gruden first got there, and we saw that this guy was going to be kind of a superstar coach, box office type coach, that was when a new stadium should have been built. Should have been built just before the new century kicked in. And I think that's really where the Raiders dropped the ball, the city dropped the ball on really retaining the Raiders. I think it was a foregone conclusion after that. And, I was believing as early as maybe 13 or 14 they were going to go back to L.A. Trask started wanting to talk about sharing a stadium with the Niners. We all remembered that. So that was a sign that they were trying to go south. So, but I want to go. But when I got you here on that topic, why did football work so well in Oakland, Crunch?
Because people were hungry for it. People were excited for football in Oakland. Oakland basically built the East Bay with a port, and it gave Oakland that prestige. You remember, there's a documentary on called "The Rebels of Oakland." If you get a chance to check it out, have you seen it?
Yeah, HBO.
You know what I'm talking about. It gave Oakland that sense of pride because San Francisco, they had the Giants who didn't win anything until 2010. Right. Maybe occasional pennant. And then you got the 49ers who were horrible until 1981. So, it was nice that they had their football team, but, Oakland started winning. And it gave Oakland, a sense of civic pride that, Oz across the bay didn't have. Right. So we had that, when we were kids, we had that when we were growing up. A's were terrific. It was the first World Series in a row, 3 wins. Right. The Raiders had 3 championships in 7 years. Oakland was kind of, it was kind of like Titletown, and San Francisco just wasn't. It made us, in the East Bay, as East Bay Grease, feel great. That's why I think it really, it caught on there. Yeah. Once Al came in '63 and we started winning, it was it. We were the best ticket in town, and there was always the city. They hadn't be threatened to lose the team, and to even get Frank Ewell Field built. Right. So it was just always that relationship with the city. Right. They spent $40 million in legal fees to Raiders in Oakland after they moved to L.A. When all the Raiders ever wanted was $30 million to build some luxury boxes to stay. I mean, how stupid is that?
That was stupid.
So, I mean, but that's the way the relationship always was.
Let me ask you this, Crunch, before we get you out of here, man. Now that the Raiders, have moved here to Las Vegas, you chronicled the beginnings of the Raiders, just explained why it was a hotbed for football, and of course, us being natives of Oakland, remember that time, and of course, what we all collectively did in the second incarnation, representing the Raider Nation and growing that fan culture into what it became, so internationally recognizable, and then some of the successes we had with the team, Super Bowl appearance in 2003. But now that they're gone, what do you feel about the prospects? Something that I posed before I left and still talk about and have talked about here on the show in recent weeks, about expansion in Oakland. Me particularly, I'd love to see an expansion team there in before 24. What do you think of the prospects of Oakland getting an expansion team?
I don't think it's going to happen. I think the 49ers have finally gotten their area. The Raiders have gotten their stadium. The 49ers have gotten their, their territory. I don't think they want to share it again. I think they'd fight it kicking and screaming.
You think they can have some claims moving down to Santa Clara?
I'm sorry?
You think they can have some claims to the Oakland Bay Area and that northern portion, even though they're now down in Santa Clara?
I think they already have it. It's now the 49ers.
That's a broad swath of the Bay to try to claim, Crunch. That's a broad swath of the Bay to try to claim.
But they've been wanting it this whole time. Go ahead, Crunch.
The whole time. They had it the whole time the Raiders were in L.A. They got it right back when the Raiders moved to Las Vegas.
Right. I see.
We gave that up. I mean, I live out here in Manteca, so I still get Raider games on TV. I don't even know if they show them still in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
It was that way for a long time. When Joe Montana went to the Chiefs, we had to watch Chiefs games at home. What the hell was that?
Right. I know. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Crunch. Well, this is the world famous Raider Crunch. Crunch, you got any new projects coming up or anything you're doing? Tell the Raider Nation out there what you're up to.
Not much, man. I was just, I'm laid off due to COVID. I'm sitting at home. I'm not writing or anything like that. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do next. I was hoping to go to Europe this year and travel, and other than I'm just grounded like a whole lot of other people. Any plans to ever come to a Las Vegas Raiders game? Maybe one day. I'm hoping they build a museum in that stadium that Al talked about for so long. But maybe you guys can tell me if they actually did that or not. I have no idea. No, they haven't built it, but they did name the road out front Al Davis Way. But yeah, it's a work in progress, man.
Still coming.
Raider Crunch, everybody, the legend that he is in the Raider Nation, you all know him well, has been a great advocate for that football team. And, of course, as we said, try to find his book. It's a very good book, man, on the early days of the Oakland Raiders. Pride and Poise, the Oakland Raiders of the American Football League, and just a great expose on the origins of the Raiders and their growth throughout their time in the American Football League. Crunch, we love you, man. Thank you so much. Love you too, bro. All right, talk soon.
Thanks, Crunch.
Raider Crunch in the house, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm James Rockin' the House, that announcer guy, and I am the host of the Shelter in Place game show In the House, where our contestants can play from the comfort and safety of their own home. In the House challenges your knowledge on topics. We also feature prizes and giveaways. Join us for In the House, uploaded every Friday at midnight. Log on to VJTVNetwork.com/InTheHouse, and hopefully you are in the house.
Yeah, man. Crunch, he's too much. That was a great call by Crunch. Like I said, Pride and Poise, the Oakland Raiders of the American Football League.
He wrote a great book about the AFL, which I love those stories about the old AFL. And he took all that time and research and just, got all the right information. I remember how much time he put into it. He showed us the drafts when he was making it.
Yeah.
I love that about the Raider fans, the Raider Nation, the entrepreneurship, the creativity, the uniqueness, the artistic abilities. I love it. The talent, of course. So thanks, Crunch. We love you. We'll see you when you come out to Vegas.
Made it in the front page of the Oakland Tribune. Carl Stewart had done a profile on the book when it came out. So yeah, man, That's cool, man. So, NFL. We're in the middle of season. Week 9. It's starting to get tight. You know, the Steelers remain 8-0. Fuck you, Jeff Saturday, former center of the Colts. I caught you in the pregame show Sunday talking about and debating because everybody wants to cape for Tom Brady, who got his fucking ass stomped by the Saints this past weekend. I love that. Yes, beat his ass. Drew Brees got him. You know,
see what happens when you go gangbusters on the quarterback like that?
Exactly.
Defenses?
Exactly. And so, the Steelers 8-0. And yeah, it's Saturday, you know, they're the best team in the league. Tampa Bay's not the best team in the league, you know, and yes, everybody always says that you have to defer to the champion. So, you know, I can respect that they did it for us when we were champions 20, 30, damn. 40 years ago. They did it for us too, you know. So I can give you that. But then after that, it's got to be Pittsburgh. Hey, no, a team undefeated is the best team in the league, right?
You have to say right now, Pittsburgh, as much as I hate to say it.
Right, of course.
And they're doing it convincingly with Ben Roethlisberger back at quarterback. And I have to tell you, at the end of last year, I thought that Ben Roethlisberger could really very well be done. Yeah, he was on the sidelines.
Right.
He was gaining weight. He had the big beard. He was looking like a coach. He was looking like he was slipping into that role, like naturally. You know, like evolution. Oh, I guess he's going to be a coach pretty soon now. But no, he's out there right now with the Steelers, without Antonio Brown, without Le'Veon Bell, just like they've done it for many years, actually. You know, when you think about it, they're able to keep putting those pieces in there when they need it. But yeah, bottom line, 8-0 right now. Dallas kind of gave them a little bit of run, you know.
A little scare.
Yeah, a little bit, but they're winning games. So right now, you got to say.
Well, Dallas is out there with quarterbacks from Trader Joe's.
Between the Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs, they are definitely looking like the two teams in the AFC. I think the Titans look pretty good too. I think they're one of the dark horse teams, but you know. I hate to see this. I hate to say it. But I'll tell you this much, Raider Rob. Because I know the trade deadline just went by.
Right.
It just went by. And I was really... I didn't expect we were going to make a trade for any big, you know, draft picks. You know, because obviously Mike Mayock and John Gruden covet their draft picks.
Well, we have to save them.
But... And I'll let you go ahead and lead me into this because you know what I want to talk about. I've been saying defense every year. If defense wins championships, that doesn't say a lot for the Raiders right now. Well, you know, you can't just do it with your hot running back and your quarterback. You need a defense that's going to go out there and beat up people like these other ones are.
A defense that showed Sunday that they are at least a team that can adjust, which was good to see because they have been on the hot seat, the last 4 weeks, and particularly on this show. And also great to see that they tightened up their approach defensively. Tackling was a lot better. John Abraham, whatever he is on,
I want some of it.
His diet, his mentality. I think this guy one day will probably be a motivational type character. Okay, I mean, this kid is out there taking control, emerging as a defensive leader. I love watching the way he plays. You got to stop leading with your head, though, dude. You got to lead more shoulder, man. I'm just scared that you're gonna catch a bad one, man. With the way that you play so fiery.
I call him the new number 24 because he's not 24 yet because you always got to go Willie Brown and Charles Woodson.
Right.
Okay, but the way he brings in that old school, what we call swagger, attitude, as you're always talking about to the defense, he's between him and Max Crosby. You got to give Mike Mayock all the credit in the world for that. You know, but he's the new number 24. Yeah. He's putting his own stamp on it, his own personality on it.
He's living up to
and he's hitting guys left and right, man. No matter what. He was playing on the line. He was even out there on the field. Yeah. He was playing on the line like he was a linebacker.
Well, this is what I was saying over a couple of weeks ago, you folks remember, talking about different pre-snap looks, you know, and having to give these guys, the offense, different looks and putting different packages in that have different pre-snap presentation, you know, before the snap and what have you, and just, you know, and then following through with some corner blitzes and some safety blitzes. Abram was in on a number of times in the backfield, putting pressure on Herbert. So it was great to see that, and you know, what would even be greater to see is that turned up, because Sax Crosby showed what he can really do and how dominant he can be. Like Stone mentioned, Cleveland Farrell had some real key plays and had some real key stops and pressure moments, getting in the backfield and some key tackles. But what would add to that would be another guy that's just a motor, that's a guy that's tenacious, and, I'm already thinking about the future.
Is this a Raider Fan Radio exclusive?
I don't know if it's an exclusive, but I haven't seen it too much on the wire.
I've never heard it, but I still haven't heard it.
But I caught a little blurb last week that J.J. Watt said...
What?
The defensive end, stellar all-pro defensive end for the Houston Texans, said and was quoted as saying, when asked about a 1 year left on his contract, stated that he isn't interested, quote, in a rebuilding process, end quote,
he wants to
in Houston.
Right in.
So he's ready to go to a winner. He wants to potentially get out of Houston. He has a 1 year contract left. So
can that happen this year? We got to wait till next year.
Next year.
All right.
Next year, unless
you're thinking in the future.
Unless you would buy him out. Yeah, I'm thinking in the future because, of course, I'm expecting.
Is J.J. Watt going to be that same player that you want to put your ass on the line to try to go bring in and try to win you a championship?
What do you guys think? J.J. Watt?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea, just considering what the defense needs to do. He could be more of that glue and the identity to really build the identity of the defense around at this point. Right. And I expected more out of the defense in this game, even though we won and Isaiah helped us to pull that off in the end. And
Isaiah Johnson,
Isaiah Johnson, number 31. But only 2 sacks. We should have had more.
That's true.
That's what we were.
That's true.
We're looking at before when we were talking about it last week.
We talked about leaving touchdowns on the field. You leave sacks on the field too, and turnovers. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think of J.J. Watt. First of all, yes. The answer is yes.
You said first of all, yes. You hear that, Chuck?
Yes. I want J.J. Watt. It would be such an old school classic Raider move. Of course, we did it again back when Chucky. It was the last time Al Davis pulled the strings and made the actual wheeling and dealing. But he brought in John Perella. Mm-hmm. He brought in a Richard Seymour,
Trace Armstrong from Miami.
Obviously we talk about Lal Alzado, and of course the old
Bill Romanowski.
Yeah, Bill Romanowski.
Rod Woodson.
So yeah, if you could get 1 year, if you have a playoff caliber team, and the Raiders are already a playoff caliber team, and next year, of course, more so if we get the defense built up, and you bring in a J.J. Watt to mix in with Jonathan Abram and Max Crosby, the way you talk of them, the way we speak of them, that's the kind of guy. It's like Jason Witten. Okay, Jason Witten's not going to be the main guy all year long. No. It's going to be our guy Darren Waller, or even Foster Moreau.
Blocks, though.
He's in on the blocks, but there's going to be that one, hopefully, playoff game where it's the end of the fourth quarter. You're in the red zone. Boom. That's how you get that. That's why you bring in those cagey veterans, as they used to say.
Trust them in the clutch.
Trust them in the clutch and win you a Super Bowl.
Just to keep pissing on Dallas. That's what you guys thought was going to happen in Super Bowl 13. And then Jackie Smith fucked it up. You thought that the great tight end from the St. Louis Cardinals all these years who didn't win anything, you bought him in. And then in Super Bowl 13 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, those of you old enough to remember, if not, Google it. Jackie Smith. Oh my God, he's got to be the saddest man in America.
When he dropped the touchdown pass that would have won Super Bowl 13 for the Dallas Cowboys. So anyway, I just wanted to keep pissing on the Cowboys. Anyway, but that's what's up with the Cowboys, man. There's a new documentary coming out on the Philadelphia Eagles fans. It's chronicling their Super Bowl season of 17 and 18 when they beat the Patriots. Carson Wentz leading them, and then Nick Foles, of course, took over.
That was the only time in my life I ever rooted for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
To beat the Patriots.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you know what? They talk about a guy coming in and winning games for you. I mean, Nick Foles was their guy. Mm-hmm. And what did he do? Win you a Super Bowl? Hung out. And right now, he's not doing great with the Chicago Bears, but obviously they know that he's a talented enough quarterback to put out there and win some games for him. But, the way they put in there, what is it? Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
That's the quarterback for the Eagles. I keep forgetting his name. because he's been pretty forgetful so far this year. That whole entire division of the NFC.
I don't have to remember him.
Yeah, but there's a new documentary chronicling that season, and it's centered around the notorious Philadelphia Eagles fans. And I saw this headline in one of my sources online. And it said that it was chronicling, quote, the most insane sports fans in America, end quote. Now, I don't know about that. Okay, but in the NFL...
Do you take umbrage?
Umbrage. I take umbrage, Cambridge, Waterridge.
Burn the bridge.
All kind of bridges, yeah. I mean...
London Bridge is falling down.
Battle of the Bridge. Yes, you guys have a notorious reputation. There was a jail inside Veterans Stadium. I did see it. Okay, the whole reputation you've been living on.
You saw the jail from the inside or the outside?
He won't be here all night.
I won't.
And then, of course, the whole reputation you've been living off of is your rowdiness as fans, of course, is that you boot Santa Claus. Well, that was way back in 1968 or 79.
That was great, too.
Okay. And then level 700, section 700 in Vet Stadium, which was equivalent for you guys to what we had in the Black Hole in the South End of the Oakland Coliseum. When we went to Philadelphia, I went there once in the mid-'90s, and this was before I was with the Black Hole. And then the Black Hole went in the late 90s too. And, you know, from what I understand, and when I was there too, you guys bowed down to us. You guys had the reputation of being the South Jersey and South Philly bad boys and all that shit as a fan base, but y'all know who to fuck with, and y'all didn't ever fuck with the Raider fans. You know what I'm saying? And when y'all came to Oakland, y'all was mighty meek and quiet. You know, we know some of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, your reputation, you've got the ring most recently. We give you that. But I was just, you know, wondering, and when I saw that headline, it kind of, you know, hit me because we had the reputation, the rowdiest, of the most insane, of the craziest.
You cannot compare Philadelphia Eagle fans to the Black Hole.
No.
To the Raider Nation as a whole. South Shield, all of it. No. Yeah. But anyway, there's a documentary coming out on them. And I don't know, Raider Nation. We got to step it up. We can't lose our...
There's already 20,000 documentaries on us, though.
Well, that's true, too.
You know?
Yeah, and we star in a few of them.
Well, apparently, though, when you think about it, though, you're right. There's 20,000 million documentaries out there on Raider fans. And there's a million podcasts and Raider shows on the internet. But... hey, they're stepping it up, man. They're getting a little bit of airtime right now. So obviously, yeah, Raider fans, I say we always got to step it up. We got this new stadium, we got this new everything that we're building.
When we're finally able to go in there, we are going to end up being, and this is something for us to push for Las Vegas, okay, and the Raider Nation, all right, to reclaim our throne as the hottest football venue and the most popular football venue and atmosphere in the NFL. Okay, that's what we got to shoot for.
With the most intense hardcore fans on the planet.
Exactly. When we get ready to reopen, when shit gets back to whatever normal's going to be and we get to be 1 inch up on each other instead of 6 feet again. You know what I'm saying? We've got to do that here in Las Vegas. All right.
I don't think even Vegas knows what they're in for. You know?
What they're in for.
They don't even know what
they're in for. We ain't going to Reno. Yeah. We're here now. So that's what's up with that. Also, before we roll out of here, just want to say Papa John's, you know, I caught a little bit of your advertising I like for the
Papa John's Pizza?
Pizza, yeah. Where they doing this Papa Donald's thing where they take the pizza and they fold it.
Is that the Peyton Manning does didn't Papa John just like is he still the guy? He still owns
What
Papa
happened,
John?
Stone?
I don't know. Is Papa John
What happened,
the guy?
No.
What happened, Stone?
I heard that Papa
What do you
John,
know, Stone?
I heard something bad about Papa John, but I don't know it. I can't confirm or deny.
Is he poisoning people with his pizza?
Well, what's he doing with his pizza now?
Well, with Papa John's Pizza now, they've got the Papa Donald. I just wanted to say, well, I know what Stone's talking about, and this is probably why he's doing that. But anyway, he's got a new promotional campaign where I just wanted to give love to him or Papa John's for bumping the funk under their new promotion for the double stacked Papa Donald that they have. And they're using more bounce from, of course, the legendary funk band Zapp. And, of course, Roger Troutman and the Troutman brothers.
More bounce.
More bouncing out.
That's
and
cool.
they showing the Papa Donald folded and it's bouncing because it's so much meat and sausage and more bounce to the house. Do-do-do. And so just the revitalization and the continuation of the funk, because the funk's never dying, it's always coming. What I'm saying? But I just wanted to give props to him. The E-Trade commercial with Atomic Dog with the dogs and the ships and the yachts or whatever. That's popular. Brick. The band Brick, they've been used on something recently too, and there's also been what did I hear the other day? Oh God, I can't remember who it was. Burger King been using Ohio Players Fire for one of their spicy burgers they got. Exactly. So just giving it up to the commercial industry for recognizing the funk.
I love that a lot of these newer commercials, because they ain't got nothing new. That's why, ultimately. There ain't nothing new that's great. So you got to go back in the archives. And the nostalgia behind the whole 70s funk coming in. It's like, to me, it's awesome, because you see a lot of modern artists that are more digital and electronic.
Very digital.
So when you're listening
digital.
So when you're listening to that old school music, even a kid, the innocence of a child, will go, that sounds awesome.
They will.
It's going to really move them and connect with them.
Yeah. Well, it's a testament to, again, like we always tease about here on the show, but in society as a whole, and the whole dynamic of political and socio-political, themes and whatever, and generational themes, people are overlooking us, Generation X, but I see y'all using a lot of our fucking music, you know what I'm saying, to commercialize a lot of shit in this generation. You know what I'm saying?
It's really about us.
Our shit's funky. Our shit rocks out. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what's up with that. They doing that thing there. And before we preview the game coming up, did we do that already with the Broncos? We previewed the game with the Broncos?
We kind of did. We talked about it with Crunch.
Fuck the Broncos. That's the bottom line. We're looking forward to kicking your ass. It's, different to be here kind of closer to Denver than we were when we were in Oakland. It's right up the street. So there are definitely a lot of Bronco fans here. I see a lot of Bronco license plates and stickers and shit on trucks here. So we're in that region.
Yeah, we're close to Denver, man.
But it isn't enemy territory anymore. Y'all probably used to have the run of the place on weekends and come down here and take over and shit. But not anymore, motherfucker. Not anymore.
Which is even more reason why, like you said, when they open up those gates, that Raider fans and Raider Nation need to come in and basically establish and claim Vegas right out of the gate, because the Broncos, the Chiefs, they're coming.
And
they're
This,
coming,
man. Yeah,
and you're gonna see Raider Rob out there.
Speaking of coming, and all the things that go with coming, we're gonna end on this note. Steven Spielberg.
You got close up for this.
The man that made
E.T.,
the man that made The Color Purple, and made
Schindler's List.
Schindler's List, yes, of
Poltergeist.
course. Poltergeist. Close Encounters.
Extremely
of the
prolific.
Third
One, two, three.
Some say he's even connected with the government and aliens and Area 51 and all that, and that's where he gets all his ideas. That's what they say.
All you Hollywood motherfuckers are connected with the government.
Right?
Because no one would let y'all make some of the movies y'all make if you weren't connected, and they didn't approve that shit. But anyway, Steven Spielberg, of course, in his personal life with his wife Amy Irving, I don't know if he's still married to her.
His personal life?
Went on an adoption spree not long ago, as we know. Well, over the last 30 years. And
what do you mean spree?
Well,
you say spree. You're adopting,
Adopting
100 kids. They had 50 kids.
They had a period there where they were adopting children, like the Cleveland Browns been drafting quarterbacks the last 15 years. Okay,
always putting it right with the football.
Well,
football is life.
That keeps us in a safe zone,
right?
But anyway,
what does that have to do with football?
Steven, this is what has to go with football, because what's football all about? It's about getting it in. And one of his daughters is getting it in. She's getting it in, and she's taking it out. Michaela Spielberg.
And
whatever
How
name.
did you come up with that name?
Whatever, because she was adopted.
Oh.
She came with Michaela.
She came with Michaela.
And then she adopted.
She already had a name.
She already had a name.
Rename her.
She is participating in the fuck industry.
Oh. What do you mean?
For money. Michaela Spielberg is a porn star.
The daughter of Steven Spielberg
World-renowned director.
is a porn star. Now, let's talk about that word star.
That sound you just heard, Stone, that sound you just heard is all our audience, particularly our audience between the ages of 15 and 25, clicking off of us and going to Xhamster right now to look up Xhamster.com.
So, okay, let's start with the word star. Now, if you're a porn star, that means you're really well known for it, and you must be really good at it to be a star.
Let me tell you
can't
something.
just be a rock star.
If you walk in here with Spielberg as your name, you're directing, you're the star, you're the gaffer, you're the fucking best boy and the best girl. You're the and you're gripping. Oh, you're gripping, chum.
I mean, I think that I heard about her being a sex worker for quite some time.
Isn't that politically correct of you? Fuck you, politically correct, but just don't think because the Confederates lost that you other motherfuckers on the other side. Fuck that politically correct shit either.
That's what prostitutes are calling themselves now. They're sex workers.
She's not a prostitute.
They're providing. Well,
I call them good people.
They're providing a service for people. And they're providing a sexual service for people.
Yes, they are.
And she's joined that industry, and she did it when she was really young too. I think she was like maybe 15 or 16.
Now we're going to real dark territory.
That's what I'm saying. It's something more there, for her. But she's working it out by having sex, and maybe that's a good thing for her.
I wonder how Steven Spielberg sleeps at night. Probably very good, though. He's got a nice house.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing about that, Stone. It's interesting you said she has a nice house, and he has a nice house. Her thing, of her answer to the question of why she's in porn, based on being a rich child of Hollywood, she's healing. It's a great healing experience.
Wait a minute.
I think she might have been abused.
What is she healing from exactly?
She just said it right there.
What is she healing from?
That's a good question. And when you think about, if anybody really wants to dig even deeper, you got to look at what's happening in the industry to Hollywood kids. They're not in safe positions all the time, and they've been through a lot trying to survive in that industry of actors and actresses. Look at what's happening with the Me Too movement right now. So she's no different. She's a young woman that was taken in by a Hollywood director that has some questionable things, likely in his past too. I don't know.
But is she a star? I guess I'm going to have to look it up. How do I do that? How do I get to see this?
Google it like all the other 15-year-olds.
I'm sure people are Googling it now.
She's a star in the sense that that's the label she would get because of the status she comes in with. You know what I'm saying? Having been Spielberg, she's Spielberg's daughter, and she's open about her ascent into the porn industry or the sex working industry.
Yeah.
And so that instantly makes her a star. I mean, who are you going to watch? Christy Canyons? Tanya Titties?
Yeah.
Or are you going to go look and see what Steven Spielberg's daughter's doing? It's
same
thing that happened with Montana Fishburne a few years ago. Lawrence Fishburne's daughter.
What?
She's in the porn industry.
That's entertainment.
And so, if there's a celebrity connection, particularly in this celebrity-driven culture you have now of Hollywood, real overhyped and overkill celebrity culture, anything connected to a celebrity name, that's going to come first. Totally. And she could easily be the dominant new Jenna Jameson of porn, just based on being.
If she's a star.
If she's a star.
But she doesn't have to be good. These youngsters don't know how to fuck. You don't have to be good. You know what I'm saying? They ain't fucking like a bunch of fucking.
Maybe you should do an instructional video.
You can find my instructional video in a high school near you.
I'm going back to class.
I don't feel tardy. But yeah, so that's what's up, man. A lot of celebrity children getting in the dick industry. It's interesting. It's a very interesting thing because you're living in these big mansions.
Talk about editing some shit.
I mean, if I was growing up and I had a parent that was famous and I'm living in a big mansion, like, why the fuck did Lori Laughlin's kids want to go to college anyway? You don't have to go to fucking college.
They did it all because their parents told them to.
You're rich,
They were paying for it.
You
Love
rich,
it.
trust fund kid, living great. And it's like, why the fuck would you want to take dick as an occupation?
Again, it goes back deeper and darker than we have
There's
the
something
time
more
here on
there.
RaiderFanRadio.Vegas.
Speaking deeper and darker, I hope we go deep and dark inside the Broncos this weekend and beat the shit
Right
out
back
of them.
to football.
Okay, I'm calling it.
See how that
35-21 Raiders at the Death Star. Stone, you and Jerry Jones going to have to work this out. Now, I saw some over
Me
the
and Jerry
weekend.
Jones?
Yeah, Jerry Jones.
Put him up, Jerry Jones.
His little vibe. His Jerry World. New stadium there in Dallas, of course.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I've been there and we've seen it. He claims
Wait, you mean that old stadium?
Yeah, from
Yeah.
2011.
He claims that it's called the Death Star.
What?
And you
Wait a minute,
claim
how recent did
that
you-
Allegiant Stadium is the Death Star.
Oh,
It
Allegiant
looks more
Stadium
like it, though.
Well, this is what
is the Death Star.
Jerry World
The owner of the Raiders said it's the Death Star.
Well, Jerry Jones said a couple of years after the stadium opened in 2011 that it was the Death Star.
Back then, it was the Death Star.
He called it the Death Star when it was posed to him.
Yeah.
That was what the nickname of some of the Cowboy
Have you
fans
seen the
were given.
Allegiant Stadium? It looks like the Death
It
Star.
does.
It looks like Darth Vader's helmet.
No, you made me watch Empire Strikes Back again. Just to, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is very interesting. You know, we have the Philadelphia Eagles trying to steal some thunder from the Raider fans as far as the rowdiest fans.
And then we have...
And we've got Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner, now mixing it up, not just with us right here, but this is serious shit.
Yeah.
This is Mark Davis and Jerry
Preeminence.
Jones.
Yeah,
All right?
We know.
This is a battle of the Titans right here.
Stadium gets to be called the Death Star.
Well, guess what? It's going to be the fans that determine who and where is the fucking Death Star.
First
in the
one to a
universe.
Super Bowl wins.
Oh,
that?
that's a good one.
Yeah.
From right
I think
now.
that's fair.
I'm
I
posing
think
that
that's
to
fair.
you, okay, you Coke Boy fans. All right, first one to a Super Bowl gets to call their stadium.
The Death
But
the
until
Death
then,
Star.
we're the Death Star.
Yeah.
If Stone says so, we say so. And we're out. Broncos 1:05 Western Pacific Time against the Las Vegas Raiders at the Death Star. I'm Raider Rob, the beautiful Black Hole Steph, the illustrious Stoner Dude. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. We'll see you soon. Stay Raider. And
That's what I say. Stay Raider.
Later, Raider.
peace.
The views and opinions of RaiderFanRadio.Vegas, RaiderFanRadio.com, and Raider Fan Radio Media are not the views and opinions of the Las Vegas Raiders, Al Davis Football, Inc., or the National Football League. RaiderFanRadio.Vegas is an independent media source.